Hey there, all you gooseheads, and welcome back to another episode of the Evening Goose. Once again, I am your host, Andrew Ginsberg. I'm a former tech employee turned stand-up comedian, and now I spend all of my time diving into the latest and greatest stories in AI, technology, space, and beyond. Okay, so today's episode is about AI hallucinations, which basically means the AI makes up stuff out of thin air when you ask it a question. And I thought this was a timely conversation to have because the other night, I had a rash on my arm. And this has honestly never happened before. I just thought I'd ask AI what the rash was. I gave it the characteristics of the rash. And I was like, should I be worried about this? I was like, maybe it's a mosquito bite. I gave it the description. And no joke, what OpenAI responded was, you have necrotizing fasciitis. Seek immediate emergency care, possible death within 12 hours. Now, look, to be clear, this turned out to not be true. I think I had just fallen asleep on my laptop or something. But death within 12 hours. You gotta be sure if you're gonna give that kind of response. You can't be kind of like, maybe death within 12 hours. I mean, what are we doing here? But in this moment, talking to the AI about my 12-hour death sentence made me realize something I hadn't really been putting a lot of thought into. Before we just sign up to say, well, we just ask AI everything as a society. Ask AI, ask ChatGPT. ChatGPT is my friend. I text with it. I converse with it. Let's remember that this thing doesn't always tell the truth, and it does hallucinate. So before we as a society just give up control to our artificial intelligence overlord, I think maybe we should all take a step back, take a breath, and be like, dude, do we really trust this thing? So in today's episode, I decided to talk about artificial intelligence hallucinations. Folks, let's get into it. In simple terms, an AI hallucination is when a language model like ChatGPT, Claude, or Gemini just simply makes stuff up. It sounds smart, it looks legit, but it's fiction. Confident, dangerous fiction. And yes, here's the thing. Hallucinations, they are common. ChatGPT 4, OpenAI says it hallucinates 15 to 20% of the answers to some of its most complex questions. 20%? That means if you ask it for a recipe for boiled potatoes, you might get a few tablespoons of the concept of loss. This isn't just a theoretical problem. It's already messed up stuff in real life. A New York lawyer asked ChatGPT for help, and ChatGPT confidently cited six made-up court cases. The judge was like, what's happening here? Dude, are you good? The result? $5,000 fine to the lawyer. A cancer institute used AI to suggest treatments. One suggestion, a treatment that doesn't even exist. Side effects may include imaginary outcomes and actual lawsuits. CNET let AI write personal finance articles. It told people to invest aggressively in compound interest, which sounds smart until you remember that compound interest isn't something you can invest in. Wish I knew that before I invested in compound interest. So, why does AI hallucinate? Because it's not thinking, right? It's just guessing. AI models don't know facts. I think people don't really understand that. They just predict the next likely word based on patterns in the data they've been trained on. If there's a gap in its knowledge, like let's say I'm asking it about a rash it's never been asked about before, it fills it with some dramatic WebMD fan fiction. So, why does this matter? Well, people are always talking about how AI is going to take over and take everybody's jobs, but this is going to be a real problem if your coworker just makes things up all the time. We're using AI right now for legal work, healthcare, customer service, and journalism. All of them are vulnerable for hallucinations. AI therapists are super popular right now, but could you imagine what would happen if your AI therapist told you to drink a fifth of vodka, get in a Corvette, and speed down the parkway, texting your wife saying, I don't want to be with you anymore? That sounds unhinged, obviously, but if it was phrased well, you might actually believe it. You're hardwired just as people to just trust confident stuff. Look at what you're watching right now. So, here are some ways to avoid being tricked by an overconfident chatbot. 1, you gotta fact check everything. Just because it presented it in a pretty paragraph doesn't mean it's real. 2, don't trust screenshots. Anyone can make AI say anything. Remember that. 3, ask it for sources. If it doesn't know where the information came from, it probably just made it up. And 4, look for shifty, lie-y, kind of weaselly, kind of shiesty words. Like if it says, it's possible that, is it possible or is it real? You know what I mean? Look for that kind of language. So no, I wasn't dying, but this whole situation reminded me that even smart machines are still kind of dumb. Folks, thanks for watching this episode of the Evening Goose. I'm Andrew Ginsberg. Please like, subscribe, support the channel. Thank you to all my new subscribers. I love you all. Let's keep this going. See you next time, folks.